Mebeka say we are making moves here try na kan je game no. Any Sudan na Togo and probably Togo so. Na me nim die but say akwa say Ghana ni Sudan. I say yeah na kwa say ni Sudan because of probably how bad our team has become because you get maybe 8 players and I withdraw from the squad. If you cite injuries, if you be a Canadian, Michael Mesaba, who suspect me? I'm not going to listen. I say, ABC Omunji coach Nindi. In the first place, we made a mistake by appointing Otto Addo, especially at the time when he a national team. No, it looks like team that lose a certain confidence.
Yeah,
we needed a coach with a bit of experience. Not necessarily too much of clout, but experience.
I've had that debate with a few people close to the FA, and it's a view I subscribe to. The other point is, so coach in the moment you're selecting or not, you're selecting a win. We are home.
Yeah, that's true.
But Osha matches now your ball June na your ball Baku Kumaseni your ball Baku Mali na.
You can say Mali your ball.
Yeah. Na coach no your bad sir. So
a new manager bounce.
You could say that, but a new manager bounce against arguably the best team we've played this year, Mali, and then we played in Kumasi. The thing that surprised me is how bad we've been since then.
So bad,
and so we've become so bad that I am beginning to think maybe this was a mistake, and I'm beginning to think maybe not mistake in terms of his tactical awareness and the rest. Maybe there are just too many problems in the team that his lack of coach experience is struggling to deal with. And for instance, the handling of the captaincy thing is absolutely shambolic. It should never have happened. So I don't want anybody to say Mpesa Jordan a captain. I think Jordan is deserving of the captaincy of the Black Stars, and he's been around. He scored goals. He's an important player. So that's not even the issue. The issue is that when you handle it the way Otto Addo has handled it, you give people a sense that you are unsure of yourself.
Yes.
And when you're a leader and you're unsure of yourself, it seeps down to how players react to you. It seeps down to how fans react to you and the rest. So one moment, and in fairness to Otto, he didn't tell us when he gave Kudus that why you Kudus captain throughout the period. He was saying, and I was at that press conference, that for this game. But it's the whole handling belies a certain lack of knowledge about Ghana football and about the Black Stars and about about the sensitivity of that role.
Yeah.
Also, we need to be clear to the fans, and you want the coach to be the guy who communicates this in the press conferences and everything. Somebody just needs to say, look, my captaincy is not based on seniority. So if the coach says, Thomas Partey is my captain, these are the 2 deputies, and somebody's not there, you just go along with it. I think he created a circles when there shouldn't have been one. You know, yes, there was too much. Sometimes I'm see a journalist say Casado, but me, Maxwell, we will not come here and discuss captaincy if somebody doesn't make a decision about captaincy. You understand? So we create all the passing around created a problem. Now you have to solve a non-existent problem with a player I am convinced beyond every doubt will be our most important player in the next 10 years, Kudus.
Yeah.
He may have had a bad few months with the national team, but you need to look at that boy in every competitive match we've played on the world stage or AFCON and the rest. He is the guy we are going to have to rely on for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then you've created all these problems. So if he's not a strong person, he has to deal with walking into places and everybody asks him, "Oh, Oti Adjei captain influence him?" I don't know. You understand? So it's too much. It's too much stress.
And Mike, even beyond that, do you perceive the coach in a conflict between Kudus and then Jordan?
No, so you see, that would depend on the reaction of the players. I know Kudus is like a really. You have to be selfish at his level to do well. You know, you have to be somebody who really believes in yourself. And but I also know that he's a genuinely positive guy. He will take this in his stride. He will know that the most important thing is not the armband. He will know that the most important thing is going on the pitch and scoring. That's why I have a feeling in the next 2 international matches, he would have that sort of game. Too much negativity, he will go out. But you don't need that. You don't need the people who are looking for favors and the rest now, going to sit at another table and listen to who is saying what at meals and taking it to the other player. It creates a bad atmosphere and tension in the team. And I don't think that we've handled it well at all. So that's where Emami doing say, maybe Otto Addo doesn't understand what's going on, and maybe what's going on is a bit overwhelming for him, because the handling of the captaincy situation has been horrible. The other thing is whether 8 players need a sign of a bigger problem. Yes. When I read some of the reasons, Joseph Pencil said that you can clearly tell that there are issues in that regard. I don't know why Semenyo is telling us that he has a problem about some injury due to overload of games. Basically, the club is telling us that Wabo match is dodo. But the moment you tell us that Wabo match is dodo, so you are the one that you want to make an exception to is the national team. There is a problem. There are a lot of the players who I personally think simply decided that the international break was the time to take a rest. And that for me is a major problem. I think the GFA must sit down and they will know. I also think that it's not for nothing that the GFA was very deliberate about publishing why the official reason each player gave for stepping out. I think they wanted to say, my players na sem when the reasons are players nediaba. Because frankly, if you say telling me you have overload of game and you have an injury, I know there's medical person. What you say? But the rest too. So the pattern and it also, would these players have opted out if we needed 1 point against one of
the question I wanted to
ask. The questions are too many. It suggests I think it suggests bigger problems with the national team than anybody's letting.
We are always interested in looking at how people reacted, but not what triggered the reaction. So we are looking at players in reaction, say they are opting out for the national team, which 5 years ago wasn't like that. So what might have triggered that reaction from players now playing for the national team are more like they are no more interested. Something might have happened.
And now, Michael can say it looks like I'm saying the only year the one who said there is something bigger going on. Because for the FA to come out, I mean, say where is the reason here? Maybe you don't say you're pointing fingers at the FA, but players,
there's a lot of.
I said BB Koso.
And I'm going to say players in the reaction, can the FA also exempt themselves? Say, okay.
Oh no, it's because you see the truth is that we are all managers at a certain level. When there is a certain level of agitation in your team, your team members may be wrong in terms of the way they've perceived it. Maybe Bright has a team he works with and the team members have misconstrued a lot of things about him. They may be completely wrong, but the truth is that they may have something they are reacting to. So there will be a reaction to something. But you have to then say whether the reaction is correct. And my thinking is simple. No reaction should be at the expense, for instance, if you work at PFM, should be at the expense of your job. In the same way, no reaction, whatever the players feel, should be at the expense of the national team. And that is where I always have a problem with our players the last few days. Look, I am a big Thomas Partey fan. I've defended him over and over again. I'm tired of it. Because I don't think he gives off the right vibes. And I think he makes it easy to think that he picks and chooses what to do with the national team.
And makes other people also do
something. No, I don't even want to go there because I think these are adults who can make their own decisions. In fact, so who could DOB or G250,000 pounds, who could be a winner, and also problems those who we are saying. But I feel like he has so much influence that he could use that and drive people along. I don't know why. Who at Arsenal can decide that Thomas Partey and Bobo because of Abba Magana? Yeah. You understand? I don't understand. I think that maybe he underestimates how much influence he has. When I look at a lot of the things that's gone on with, when off the back of the Nations Cup, because I think you were in Cote d'Ivoire, I think the players have become too soft. They've become too pampered. They don't understand that part of playing for the national team, like Stephen Appiah said, is dealing with the intense public pressure and criticisms. Look, if we pay you by the equivalent of our bad currency, 170 or 60,000 Ghana cedis for 90 minutes of work when you win, we have a right to ask you questions.
Exactly. Of course.
We spend well on you. We put you in the best hotels. We give you a chef. We do everything to make you
business class.
Yes, we do everything to make you comfortable. You cannot, and you yourself, when you need this, you need us calling you to come and play for us, so that you're able to say to the next club coming to you that I'm an international.
Yeah.
So I don't want the players to be pretending like all these guys who play in Sweden and everybody, even the guys who play in EPL now. Every time you show up for your national team, one player told me something during one of the interviews. He said, normally the players pretend like they don't care, but the time when you notice is the most is international. All the invitations have come in during the international weekend. Everybody's coming into the changing room, say, oh, and then me call her, oh, me call, and then you alone, you have to come into training. Because technically you are not going. Then you begin, especially if you are not the one doing and saying Bobio, and your manager has said so. Everybody understands that there's so much in it. I, as a journalist, understand that there is a lot in the Black Stars. That's why the other day on the swag group, I said to some of the guys, I said, why would anybody who is a journalist seriously celebrate the fact that Ghana has lost a game? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I've never understood it. Because in my years of journalism, look, the only reason I vote in Ballon d'Or is Ghana is in the top 100.
The top 100.
Yeah, sure.
Which is based on national team.
Yes.
The best period, a lot of journalists will discover their earnings will drop if we don't go to the Nations Cup next year.
Yeah.
Your company won't pay for you. No sponsor is interested.
Yes.
And if you are the type who rely on writing for international magazines and websites and the rest, nobody's commissioning you to write a $300 article.
Yeah.
So everybody benefits, and I want the players to stop this sense that when they play for the national team, they are doing us some
favor.
It's not.